Yeah, the fanatic. Where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina, upstate, A64. Yeah, TFA TTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what.
Welcome into the Fanatic Sports Show for sports fans by sports fans. It's your boy Coach I, and you know I got the stat guy with me, man. What's going on, stat guy?
Good coach. Hey man, ready to talk some Big 12 football.
Hey, Big 12 football been on the. Hey man, we've been on the brain this year, man. This season, it's actually been, I think, not the best league, but I do think the Big 12 has been the most competitive league. I think their conference has had the most teams throughout the season thus far that had a shot or could have, had a shot at winning it. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about both of these teams, Texas Tech started out pretty good. They still have a good offense. You got TCU's undefeated. You got Texas, who, wasn't bad, still not bad. Got Kansas State, got Oklahoma State. Kansas started out red hot, you know what I'm saying? And then Baylor. So it's like, and West Virginia, we'll talk about this later, but West Virginia gave TCU all they wanted this past weekend. So I don't think we had another conference in America that had that many teams that could beat the top team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's definitely been solid. And what you love to see is it's been good games too. Even when, obviously, we'll talk about that Kansas State victory this last weekend. They took them to the woodshed, but outside of that, man, it's been just great college football games week in and week out in that conference, and you love to see it as a college football fan.
That's right, man. So let's talk about college football week 9 recap because we are entering week 10. Not much football left, man. So, hey, enjoy it while you can because it's about to be over as fast as it started, as long as we had to wait for it. You know what I mean? So this past weekend, Texas Tech took a L to Baylor, took a bad L to Baylor. It was 45-17. That's not a good look. So especially not being able to stop their offense. On the other side, you had TCU in the dogfight with West Virginia at West Virginia. Something about that 1,500 plus mile travel. It does it to West Virginia. Get them with it. Get the Big 12 teams with it all the time.
Yeah, no, it feels like they're always catching somebody up there in Morgantown, and that TCU was on the ropes there for a little bit.
Yeah, JT Daniels did what he could, man. He didn't have a lot of help, but TCU ended up pulling it out 41-31. Hey, offense wins the day again. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of that offense, man, let's talk about the TCU offense versus the Texas Tech defense. Obviously, this past weekend, the Texas Tech defense didn't do much in the way of keeping Baylor off the scoreboard. But Texas Tech has had moments this season. When they played Oklahoma State, it wasn't the defense, but they were able to stay in the game. What does the TCU offense look like? What we think it's going to look like going against that Texas Tech defense?
Well, you're talking about a TCU offense that is by far top 5 in the country. There's
Easy.
an offensive juggernaut. You're looking at 300 yards through the air, 217 on the ground. Anytime you're averaging over 500 yards a game, it's like turning on NCAA 14 and kicking back with the friends again on freshman mode. This offense is just dynamic as dynamic comes. And it's fun. It's a fun offense to watch. It's fast. Sonny Dykes has that thing rolling. And
Max for Heisman.
Maybe. Not just the yards. You're talking about 44 points a game.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, people listen. I know as other teams, of course, CJ Stroud is going to stay in the conversation. I think Bryce just because of the underwhelming performance, or I should say underwhelming compared to what we have thought the Alabama offense was going to be this year. Bryce is probably not in the thick of things right now. You got CJ Stroud, you got Hendon Hooker, but man, Max needs to be in this conversation as well. The dude's been straight balling.
Yeah, but let's flip the page over to this Texas Tech defense. They struggled against Baylor. We can say that, but that Oklahoma State game was some turnovers on the offensive side that put them in bad positions kind of early. But their defense has not played bad. I mean, especially not in terms of Big 12. You're only talking about giving up 29 points a game in a conference where it feels like everybody averages 40. You're looking at 147 on the ground. Now they are giving up 317 through the air, but yeah, so kind of brutal. No, pardon me, only 217 through the air. So yeah, I mean you're
Okay.
looking at 365. I mean that's not sub 400. I'll take that for a Big 12 defense because
Let me tell it. I was about to say, let me tell it in the Big 12, giving up a total of less than 375 is that's top notch defense, ain't it? Like, I mean, because there's some good offenses in the Big 12. It's not just that the defenses are good; these offenses are like lighting it up on anybody that they step on the field with.
right. So this should be a good little battle. Now, I mean, can Texas Tech show up? I mean, they got taken out behind the woodshed last week. Can they lick their wounds and then show up to play football on Saturday?
That's right. On the other side, they'll have their chance to score on the TCU defense. Who, I mean, let's be honest. Listen, TCU's offense is fun to watch. It's hard to stop. It's keeping them undefeated. They're 8-0. But let's not act like that defense don't give up, say Olay a couple of times a game as well. I mean, TCU gave up 31 to a West Virginia team who hadn't looked like an offensive juggernaut this year. And we, like you mentioned earlier, we watched Texas Tech score points on Oklahoma State, just like, I think they'll be able to do here. I mean, I think they'll be able to put up some points. Now, will they be able to keep pace with the TCU offense? I don't know. What does that TCU defense look like numbers wise?
So the TCU defense is only giving up 27 a game. They're definitely a bend don't break defense. Because on top of that, they're giving up a $140 on the ground, 262 through the air. And again, I mean, 400 yards on defense with only 27 points, 29 points allowed a game. Definitely, you take that all day long in the Big 12, right?
Yeah, definitely. And then look to hope your defense gets a turnover here or there. You know what I'm saying? That's what you call playing good defense in this offensive era of football. It's not just the Big 12. I mean, the SEC, is scoring a lot of points. Big 10, ACC, I mean, Pac-12, everybody's scoring a lot of points. So at this point, you're just looking for your defense to kind of get a turnover or a key stop in the third or fourth quarter to kind of give you the edge. Kind of like tennis, so you can hold serve. You know what I'm saying? So if you score first and then your defense can, get that one stop and then you score back to back. In this day and age, that's like a great defense.
Right. And so you're talking about that Texas Tech offense. And I mean, to no surprise to me, and I guess anybody that really follows Texas Tech, they are all about the pass. They do average 137 a game on the ground, but that passing attack then hits you for 338 a game. They're definitely looking to air it out. It's called the air raid for a reason. Back when Mike Leach was leading the Red Raiders up and down the field on everybody. So they definitely not lost that no matter who their coach is.
When has Texas Tech not been good at throwing the ball? That's what I want to know. Like, I mean, we're talking about going all the way back to Michael Crabtree. I mean,
pre-Leach. I mean, you would have to go back pre-Leach for sure.
Yeah.
They throw that thing around.
Yeah. All right, man. It's time for some predictions, man. Give me the over/under and the spread on this game.
So, in typical Big 12 fashion, the spread on this game is going to be 70.5. I guess they're saying first to 40 maybe takes the victory.
The over/under. The over/under.
Excuse me. Yeah, the over/under on this is 70.5. So the first to 40, I guess, takes the victory in the minds of Vegas. And as far as spread goes, TCU is at home. The game is in Fort Worth, and they're favored by 9.5.
Like you say, I think it is. It's a race to 40, and that's kind of how it's been. Hey, at the end of the day, it just matters if you get the W or the L. So regardless of what your defense is giving up. And in this, hey, listen, man, I've been watching them week in, week out. I just don't see a lot of people being able to stop this TCU defense. And as we can see, in several other games that we see the Texas Tech offense sputter here and there. I got TCU winning this game. They will be the first to 40. I got them winning 41-31 and covering the spread.
Nice. So these two teams play for the Saddle Trophy. Texas Tech is actually 3-2 in their last 5 trips to Fort Worth. The really cool thing about this series, or rivalry, whatever you want to call it, is the different type of games that you can see through this. We've had double overtime and triple overtime thrillers in the past. We've seen 14-12 type football games, and then we've seen a couple years ago TCU dog walked them 82-27. I mean, this thing has everything. TCU fans, look, I picked Kansas State to beat y'all. I picked Oklahoma State to beat y'all. Y'all probably don't want me to pick y'all to win anyway, and that's a good thing because I'm not going to do it today. I'm taking Texas Tech, wreck them, right? And Texas Tech will be the first team to hit 40, and I'm taking Texas Tech to pull the upset on Saturday at high noon, 41-38.
So even though Texas Tech is 0-5 in their last road games against the spread, and TCU is 6-1-1 against the spread in their last 8, you're still going with the upset for the road team, Texas Tech.
Hey, still taking the Red Raiders, baby.
There it is. TCU fans, Texas Tech fans, man, get in the comments. Let us know what you think the score will be. And tell me, listen, there are so many big schools in Texas. Is this in any way, shape, or form a rivalry? Why or why not? Appreciate y'all watching, man. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for the stat guy who's picking crazy this week. And Coach I, Fanatic. We out of here.
Got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the Fanatic, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off their plate?